What's up guys, this is Lauren and welcome to our science class. In this video, I'm going to show you how the respiratory and circulatory system works together, which is part of your science grade 9 competency. So let's start. Look at the first picture. Do you have any idea about this organ system? Yes, correct. This is our respiratory system. And how about our second picture? Yes, this is also our circulatory system. So in this video, we are going to study about how the system work together. Alright, so let's start with the respiratory system. The respiratory system is also known as the human breathing system. This organ system is responsible for taking in oxygen and of course expelling out carbon dioxide in our body. And moving on to the parts of the respiratory system, we will start with the upper part of the respiratory system is the nose and mouth, the entrance of oxygen in our body. So when we inhale, the oxygen gets into our body through our nose and our mouth. After, the nasal cavity or the nasal passageway. This is the air passing. This part is warm and damp and clean from any unknown particles. So right after the air gets into the nose, it passes to the nasal cavity or nasal passageway. The next is the pharynx, which is our throat, the larynx, and trachea. The trachea is also known as the windpipe. It is an empty tube that serves as a passageway of air into the lungs. The lungs, the main organ of the respiratory system. This is the largest organ in our respiratory system. Moving on, the bronchi, the two branching tube that connects the trachea to the lungs. And then bronchioles, these are the hair-like tubes that connects to the alveoli. And the alveoli, these are the air sacs that allow gas exchange in the lungs. This is the end part of the respiratory system, in which oxygen is already mixed into the blood. So those are the parts of the respiratory system. The question, what happens when we breathe in or breathe out? Everybody, so let's try. Please inhale and also exhale. What do you think is happening inside our respiratory system? Alright, so let me show you two different pictures. The first one is the process of inhalation, and the next one is the process of exhalation. Can you spot the difference between the two pictures? Alright, so in the first picture is the process called inhalation in which oxygen enters our body. Well, the next picture shows carbon dioxide exits our body. Next, when we inhale, the ribs moves out and the chest space increases or it becomes larger. Try to experience. And when we exhale, the ribs moves in and the chest space decreases or becomes smaller. When you exhale, try to experience. It becomes smaller. Diaphragm. Diaphragm is a muscle in our respiratory system that helps in the process of respiration. When we inhale, the diaphragm muscle contracts or moves down, giving a wider space in our lungs. While when we exhale, the diaphragm muscle relaxes or it moves up, giving a smaller space in the lungs. Alright, and now let's proceed to the next organ system, the circulatory system. The circulatory system is also known as the cardiovascular system. The function of the circulatory system, it is the life support structure that nourishes our cells. It functions with other body systems to deliver different materials in the body. And now, let's move on to the major parts of the circulatory system. The parts of the circulatory system is number one, we have the heart. The heart, it pumps the blood throughout the body. The heart is also considered as the main organ of the circulatory system. And we have another, blood vessels. It is responsible in carrying blood all throughout the body. There are three different types of blood vessel. The first one is veins. The veins carries blood towards the heart, while arteries carry blood away from the heart. And lastly, we have capillaries, which is the smallest blood vessels in the body. This is where actually gas exchange occurs. The capillary is the connection between the smallest vein and the smallest artery. This is also where the nutrients are being exchanged, so with the gases. The next one is the blood. The blood, it carries the materials throughout the body. So those are the three major parts of the circulatory system: the heart, the blood vessels, and the blood. Now I have one trivia question. Do you know how big is your heart is? The heart is a hollow muscle which is big as your fist. So take a look at your fist, close it and look at it. That is how big your heart is. Now, let's proceed to the parts of the heart. The heart has four chambers with specific tasks to do. The two atria are the receiving chambers of the heart, accepting blood from the body and from the lungs. The two ventricles are the pumping chambers, moving blood to the lungs and into the body. There is a valve between each atrium and ventricle to prevent the blood from flowing backwards. The valves are like one-way door that keep the blood from moving in one direction. So take a look at the picture. So that is the blue-colored fluid that is representing the oxygenated blood, while on the right side, the red blood means oxygenated blood. So as you can see on the right part, now let's proceed to the parts of the heart. The oxygenated blood enters the heart through superior vena cava and the inferior vena cava. These two largest veins are the largest vein in our body. This is where an oxygenated blood enters first and then moves to the right atrium and then passes through the tricuspid valve and then moves to the right ventricle, then passes through the pulmonary valve, then to the pulmonary artery to get oxygen. And now the blood becomes oxygenated and it passes through pulmonary vein and enters the left atrium, then passes through the bicuspid valve and then moves to the left ventricle, and then goes to the aortic valve and then going to the aorta, which is the largest artery in the body, in which oxygenated blood will be distributed all throughout the body. Now let's proceed to the key concepts. Circulatory system and respiratory system work together. The air enters first in your lungs and then into the left part of your heart. It is then driven by your heart into the bloodstream all the way through your body. The heart pumps blood, which transport essential nutrients, oxygen, and other chemicals to every cell in your body. Once it reaches cells, oxygen processes the nutrients to release energy. Carbon dioxide is given off during the process. The blood delivers carbon dioxide into the right portion of the heart, from which it is pumped to the lungs. Carbon dioxide leaves your body through the lungs when you exhale. So that is how our respiratory and circulatory systems works together. Let's explore. The circulatory system functions with other body systems to deliver different materials in the body. It circulates vital elements such as oxygen and nutrients. At the same time, it also transports waste away from the body. And now, let's read about the different types of circulation. The first type is pulmonary circulation. It is the movement of blood from the heart to the lungs and back to the heart. The second circulation
Coronary
is the
circulation.
coronary
It is the movement
circulation.
of blood
This
through
refers to
the
the movement
tissues
of
of
blood
the heart
through the
only.
heart
That is coronary
of heart
circuit or
tissues.
coronary circuit.
And the last one is the systemic circulation, is the movement of blood from the heart to the rest of the body, excluding lungs. So those are the types of circulation. So let's proceed. Let's check whether you have got the correct answers in your module, including your pre-assessment. So here are the answers for the pre-assessment. Kindly compare your answers. And then here are also the answer for activity number 1. Also compare your answer for activity number 2 and 3. And you have also here answers for activity number 4 and 5. And of course, activity number 6 and the assessment. Finally, we're done with our discussion, and congratulations for completing this video. I hope this were able to help you, and see you in our next lesson. Don't forget to subscribe.